146 BC. The greatest city in the Mediterranean burned for 17 days straight. Rome didn't just defeat Carthage, they erased it from the face of the earth. The streets were filled with the dead, the temples had turned to ash, and the Roman general Scipio watched the smoke rise from the ruins and wept, because he knew that one day Rome would meet the same end. This is the last day of Carthage. Carthage was founded as a Phoenician colony on the lands of what is today Tunisia. But over time, it became the undisputed master of the Mediterranean, a powerful navy, a vast trade network, a massive army. From North Africa to Spain, from Sardinia to Sicily, Carthage had built an empire. And while Rome was still a small city-state, Carthage was already the richest city in the world. But two great powers could not share the same sea. It all began with three great wars, known in history as the Punic Wars. These conflicts between Rome and Carthage lasted nearly 120 years. In the First Punic War, Rome took Sicily from Carthage. In the Second, Carthage's greatest military genius took the stage. Hannibal Barca. He crossed the Alps with his war elephants. He crushed Roman army after Roman army. At the Battle of Cannae, in a single day, he killed 70,000 Roman soldiers, one of the greatest military defeats in all of history. But Rome did not fall. Rome endured, and eventually lured Hannibal back to his own lands. In 202 BC, at the Battle of Zama, Scipio Africanus defeated Hannibal once and for all. Carthage begged for peace. Rome's terms were brutal. Surrender your fleet. Pay war reparations. Never wage war again without Rome's permission. Carthage accepted and survived for a little while longer. But back in Rome, there was a man who ended every single speech with the same words. Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. His name was Cato. And eventually, the Roman Senate listened. 149 BC. Rome declared war on Carthage. The excuse was small. Carthage had fought a neighbouring kingdom without Rome's permission, a violation of the treaty. The Roman army marched into North Africa. The Carthaginians wanted to surrender. They handed over their weapons. They gave up their hostages. But Rome's real demand was something far heavier. Abandon the city, move inland, Carthage will be destroyed. The Carthaginians refused, and so began one of the bloodiest urban battles in history. A siege that would last 3 years. Carthage's walls were massive, unbreakable. The people fought with everything they had. Women cut off their own hair to weave ropes for the catapults. Children fought alongside soldiers. The Roman army charged the walls again and again and again and again. They were driven back until a young commander took charge. Scipio Aemilianus, 146 BC. Scipio sealed the city completely. Nothing entered from the sea, nothing entered from land. Carthage began to starve, and finally the walls fell. But the war was not over, because the Carthaginians kept fighting, street by street, house by house. For 6 days, every street was a battlefield, every house a fortress. Scipio's soldiers had to walk over the rooftops of buildings just to move forward. The survivors retreated to the highest point in the city, the hill of Byrsa. 50,000 people surrendered. They were sold into slavery. The city's leader, Hasdrubal, first fled, then surrendered. His wife cursed him for his cowardice and threw herself into the flames of a burning temple with their 2 children, and Carthage burned. For 17 days, without stopping, the Roman Senate had made its decision. Carthage would not just be burned, it would be completely destroyed. The walls were torn down, the buildings demolished, the ground ploughed over and over, was salt poured into the earth. This story is most likely a legend. It does not appear in ancient sources, but the fact that this legend is so powerful tells you everything about how completely Rome wanted Carthage erased. Rome didn't want the name of Carthage to ever be spoken again. And they succeeded. Carthage was wiped from the pages of history, its language forgotten, its gods forgotten, its culture destroyed. Most of what we know about Carthage today comes from Roman sources, which means we read their history through the eyes of the people who destroyed them. Scipio stood and watched the burning city. The historian Polybius, who stood beside him, asked why he was weeping. Scipio answered, "One day Rome will meet the same end." And he was right. Carthage fell in 146 BC, Rome in 476 AD. But that final day came for both of them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. The Last Day series continues. Stay with us.